a story in which you have almost a personal investment. You were on a flight back.
Have you ever? It would be me.
You would be you. So you were on a flight back from a trip to Brazil, and on landing at Cape Town International, you were sort of part of the mix where somebody got apprehended for being a drug mule.
It started
allegedly.
in Sao Paulo,
Mm-hmm.
in the queue, Sao Paulo. But also, as a journalist, you just have those spidey senses.
Yes.
I told my partner, that's a mule. Oh my gosh. Then there were military police, right? Dog sniffing around. The dog came to me. I said, Guy, I have nothing but an empanada for you.
Yes.
Then the dog went nuts with this woman who I had said, this is a mule.
Mm-hmm.
The one military cop took her around the corner to speak with her while the dog was sniffing her bag. The dog would not leave her bag. They still let her onto the flight though. But while sitting there after the cops had gotten her in Sao Paulo, she either sent a voice note or made a phone call, but it was this literally this fast as they got me. That was as fast as it was, right? Then she was a few rows ahead of us on the flight back to Cape Town. Mind you, I didn't sleep on that flight. If anything goes down, I want to see it all. Then we landed in Cape Town, at Cape Town International, and there were loads of undercover cops. The forensic laboratory services were there. SAPS in police gear were there. Everyone was there. SARS was there. And we were standing in this queue because nobody could bypass customs, declare or not declare.
Yeah.
Nobody could not declare on our flight. People came from France. They said, if you're here from France, go. You don't have to stand in this queue. Everyone from Sao Paulo needed to stand in this queue. This undercover cop comes to me because also we've been profiled, right? And I then told him, I've got nothing in my bag for you, Guy.
Mm-hmm. I'm from here.
I'm from here. In fact, I spoke Afrikaans. Wat wil jy hê? He is niks in the bags, And then they went through all the bags, checked, there was nothing in it. But while we're standing in the queue, the cops whisk by us with this woman. And I remember when the media release from the Hawks came through, and I wasn't back at work yet, but I saw it on our news group, and I said, I knew that was a mule. And she had a pink tog bag. So when I saw the pictures of the drug pellets, fancy pink tog bag.
And
Yes.
what was
In the
the
picture.
indication for you that you just...
Spidey senses. I can't explain it. Everyone asks me that. I cannot tell you how I knew.
She could just tell.
You could
I
just
can't
feel
tell
it.
you how I knew. I could
It's
feel
funny
it.
you say that because everywhere I go in the world, people assume I'm the drug mule. I get
I didn't have
stopped.
that face.
I get stopped
I'm also that person.
everywhere. We were on a work trip years ago with the breakfast team in London. And we get to Heathrow Airport, and I say to the team as we are approaching customs, I said, watch how they pull me aside for a random check. And I remember Tabfuma was like, you've got such a persecution complex. What's wrong with you? It won't happen. And as we approach...
Persecution complex.
Sorry, sir, would you mind stepping aside for a random check? And everybody just packs out laughing. And the customs guy's like, what's going on? He said, no, he said this was going to happen. I get stopped, I get frisked, I get searched. Everywhere. Hulle gaan haal hondjies wat slaap. You see, the dog is dear my car has just been woken because I've got to have something in my bag.
Yeah.
What is
I
it about
fit-
you?
I must got that
It's
gefrit.
Is it the
it's
face?
That
just the
is
Is
face.
it the
just
expression?
suspicious. It is
They
just
profile
a
me as
thing.
well.
Yeah.
We were in Buenos Aires, from Buenos Aires to Rio de Janeiro. At the international airport in Buenos Aires, I had to open all my bags. They unpacked every
Do
bag.
you ever feel nervous? Like when you were standing in that
course.
queue, do you feel like maybe
Maybe
you've
someone
done nothing
Yes.
wrong?
Yeah.
You've done,
Yes.
but maybe there's just something.
Absolutely. When that military dog came to me, I was like, Lord, please tell me nobody put anything in my bag. Because there are wild stories of
Yes.
people putting things in
Yes.
your bag. And I know I packed my own bag. How many people didn't pack their own bags but found things in their bags,
It's
right?
like an episode of Banged Up Abroad. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
literally
Yes.
lived through
Yeah.
it. Wow.
And the scariest thing about those dogs, you say futsak, but it means nothing to them.
Absolutely.
You go futsak. They won't take you
don't
no
even know,
once and they. No, they say also no they nie.
Ek is nog Ola. Want je empanada?
All right, there we go. Right, a very different Hard Matters this morning with a personal investment and a first-hand account by one Leigh-Anne Jansen. But that story going to have a follow-on in news bulletins all day long.